It was another simple day in Konoha. The sun was rising to a new warm day in the Leaf Village. The villagers were starting their own businesses, and the other shinobi were preparing in Training Ground 8, sparring with Haku and Zabuza. Since Naruto got his sword, the Thunder God sword, he asked Zabuza for tips so he could rely on Kenjutsu in a real battle. Hinata was fighting Haku in an all-out contest. Haku could only keep up using her ice mirrors, which would lead to a quick defeat due to massive chakra usage. Zabuza vs Naruto. Kenjutsu only, Zabuza said as he was facing Naruto. They were a few meters apart, each one grasping each sword. Executioner's Blade versus Thunder God. Agreed, Naruto said, flared his sword to life. Blue light emanating from the sword. It was sparkling in all its power. Still not powerful as my preferred weapon. Maybe one day I'll use it, but it sticks out too much, Naruto thought. Let's see what you can do, Zabuza said as he dashed forward towards Naruto. He went for a horizontal slash, but Naruto blocked. He soon found out it was a bad idea because Zabuza had more brute force than him. Naruto was forced to jump back. Rule number 1, don't block strikes from enemies stronger than you, Zabuza said. Naruto ran towards Zabuza. He jumped in the air and tried a vertical slash. Zabuza sidestepped and tried to kick him in the chest. Naruto blocked and caught his leg and threw him up in the air. Zabuza quickly regained balance and landed gracefully on the ground. Not bad, brat, but if you want to beat me in Kenjutsu, you need more strength, Zabuza said. I can always beat you in speed, Naruto said smirking and deactivated in gravity seals. Zabuza saw his body lightly glowing and braced himself. Naruto disappeared in a show of speed. Zabuza out of instinct brought his sword up just in time to deflect an attack that would behead him. Naruto disappeared again, and this time Zabuza jumped out of the way just as Naruto came from the sky with a vertical slash. I give it to you, you're fast, but that alone isn't enough. I have years of experience, Zabuza said, and readied his sword once again. He dashed forward with impressive speed, and exchanged a few blows with Naruto. However, Zabuza just couldn't keep up in speed, and waving around that big sword certainly didn't help. You can't keep up in speed with me, Naruto said, and continued to parry his strikes, quickly shifting his position, putting Zabuza on his toes. Zabuza had enough of this. He slowly relaxed, focusing his senses. He realized an attack was coming from the right. He brought his sword up, but instead of simply blocking, he pushed strength into his sword, making Naruto lose his balance. Zabuza took opportunity of this and quickly repositioned his sword at his neck. I win. Speed alone is enough, Zabuza said, removing the blade from his neck. One of these days, I'll defeat you in Kenjutsu, Naruto said, deactivating his sword. Hinata vs Haku. Ready, Haku? Hinata asked, shifting into position and activating her Byakugan. Always, Haku replied, picking up Senbon and placing 3 in each hand. Hinata quickly ran towards Haku. She shifted to the left to quickly avoid the Senbon thrown. With her Byakugan, she could easily track the incoming Senbon. Hinata arrived near Haku and went for a Jukin strike to the chest. Haku quickly ducked and went for a low kick. Hinata jumped up and tried a drop kick, making Haku roll to the left. They both dashed toward each other and exchanged blows. Haku quickly realized that she was no match to Hinata in taijutsu. Hinata was simply avoiding all of her attacks as if she was dancing. Haku tried once again, a punch straight to the face. However, Hinata sidestepped and quickly with an infused strike managed to close a few tenketsus in her wrist. Haku gave up on taijutsu and jumped back, nursing her left hand. Haku started going through one-handed seals and said, 1,000 flying water needles of death, and sent countless Senbon towards Hinata. Hinata said Kaiten and started spinning in a blue dome of chakra, completely blocking all of the Senbon. Haku took that time and forced chakra towards her tenketsus to painfully open them. Hinata was primarily a water user since it was her first affinity she trained. Since there wasn't a nearby lake, she decided to change the terrain to her advantage. She quickly went through a few hand seals and shouted, "Water style, exploding water wave," and pumped her chest full of water, expelling it through her mouth. In a few seconds, the training ground was filled with water. That might have been a bad move, Hinata. With this much water, it's much easier for me to use my ice release, Haku said. But Hinata continued to stare at her, getting ready for her next move. Ice release, flying ice shards, Haku said, and like Hinata, she started spinning. However, she wasn't blocking anything. Haku was spinning and water was rising up around her. Suddenly the water around her started freezing, and from it came thousands upon thousands of ice shards. I can't hold up my chitin long enough to block all those, Hinata thought, and started going through hand seals. She stopped and said, "Water style, water wall." Water rose from the ground and wrapped around her, blocking all the ice shards. However, Haku continued to send, and Hinata had to do something. I got it, Hinata thought. I hope this works. I haven't completely mastered it. Hinata kept inside the water dome as the shards continued coming. She concentrated and suddenly released a vast amount of lightning chakra that radiated from her body and spread through the water, effectively shocking Haku. That was surprising. I didn't know you could use the lightning element, Haku said, slightly twitching. Just discovered it a few weeks ago, Hinata said as she released her protective dome and said, "Water style, water dragon jutsu," and a big dragon rose from the ground and rushed towards Haku. Haku barely managed to create an ice dome around her to shield her from the attack. Haku released her jutsu and looked around, trying to find Hinata. Suddenly, behind Haku, Hinata rose from the water, kunai at hand, trying to kill her. Haku sensed her and was faster than her, and, creating an ice blade around her arm, quickly slashed Hinata, making her dispel in a slash of water. "Water clone," Haku said in surprise, and suddenly felt a cold steel at her throat. She realized that the water clone was only a distraction. "Looks like I win," Hinata said with a smile. "I look forward to next time," Haku said, sitting on the ground, slightly out of breath. "You okay?" Hinata asked, concerned with her. "Yeah, I'm low on chakra. What about you?" Haku asked, surprised that Hinata wasn't even winded as she used a couple of high chakra demanding jutsu, and that defensive dome is a killer on anyone's reserves. When you train for years with a stamina freak and a chakra monster, you tend to increase your reserves if you want to keep up, Hinata said, chuckling, and Haku simply looked smiling. Haku was happy since she came to the Leaf. She had a simple and peaceful life. No more crappy beds and constantly having to watch out for hunters. Training Ground 8. Kurenai and Shino were approaching their team's training ground when they saw all the commotion. Kurenai and Shino had their jaw on the ground when they saw Naruto hold his own against Zabuza, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, and even Hinata using high-rank water jutsu. "I might have to increase my training if I want to have something to teach them," Kurenai said, and Shino only nodded. They really grew into fine young shinobi. "Naruto, Hinata," Kurenai said, getting their attention. "Zabuza-sensei, see you tomorrow, and thank you," Naruto said, and Zabuza simply nodded. "Hey Haku, want to stick around?" Hinata asked. "Sorry, my shift in the hospital starts in a few minutes, and later I have my own team meeting," Haku said, and Hinata nodded, and both Zabuza and Haku left the training ground. "So, Kurenai-sensei, what are we doing today?" Naruto asked. Kurenai placed her hands in her pockets and took 3 pieces of paper and gave one to each. "These are the inscription papers for the Chunin exams. I nominated you 3, so if you want to participate, be at the academy in a week," Kurenai explained. Flashback. The Hokage was in his office, and in front of him were all of Konoha's joining senseis and a few other shinobi. "I called you all here for a reason," the Hokage said. Since the majority were joining senseis, many of them already suspected the meaning of this. "Is it time already?" Kakashi asked, and the Hokage nodded. "Yes, tomorrow I will formally announce that this year we are hosting the Chunin exams," Hokage explained. "Now, either of you want to nominate teams for the exams?" Hokage asked, and Kakashi, Kurenai, Asuma, and Guy stepped forward. "I, Kakashi Hatake, Jonin Sensei of Team 7, nominate Sasuke Uchiha, Kiba Inuzuka, and Sakura Haruno for the exams," Kakashi said. "I, Kurenai Yuhi, Jonin Sensei of Team 8, nominate Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame for the exams," Kurenai said. "I, Guy Maito, Jonin Sensei of Team 9, nominate Neji Hyuga, Rock Lee, and Tenten Higurashi for the exams," Guy said in a serious tone that surprised everyone, that expected him to start shouting. "I, Asuma Sarutobi, Jonin Sensei of Team 10, nominate Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, and Shoji Akamichi for the exams," Asuma finished, and everyone started whispering about all the rookies being nominated. "Wait a minute, I understand Naruto and Hinata, but the rest aren't ready for the exams," Iruka shouted. "Wait, you say that they are unprepared except the Dead Last and the Shy Princess?" Asuma said, laughing. "Hey Asuma, how about a small bet?" Kurenai asked, inwardly smirking. "What kind of bet?" Asuma replied. "The team that has more members promoted wins," Kurenai said. "What about the odds?" Asuma said. "How about this? If I win, you can't smoke for a month," Kurenai said, and Asuma chuckled. "Fine, but if I win, I get to take you out on a date," Asuma said, and Kurenai slightly blushed. And a flashback. Now, how about a few spars with me to see what you learned? I already saw you against Zabuza and Haku, but more training is never bad, Kurenai said. And only after she said that, she began wondering if it really was a good idea. Okay, Kurenai-sensei, you're against me, Naruto said, and Kurenai gulped. Naruto is a chakra monster, and his taijutsu is pretty good. She would have to rely on her genjutsu and hope it was enough. How wrong she was. Can I go all out? Naruto asked, and Kurenai was wondering if she was leaving this alive. Sure, as long as I live, she said, and Naruto chuckled. Get ready, Kurenai-sensei, Naruto said, and dashed forward at blinding speed and crashed into Kurenai, who didn't expect him to be that fast. They tumbled across the ground until they stopped. Damn, sorry, Kurenai-sensei, I forgot I disabled my gravity seals, Naruto said, chuckling, and helped Kurenai up, who was still dazed from the impact. You should consider that a taijutsu move, Kurenai said, nursing her head. She felt she was hit with concrete. Here I go, Naruto said. Fire style, great fireball jutsu, instant to fireball towards Kurenai. She jumped out of the way and flashed through hand seals and started vanishing in the air. Naruto saw this and activated his Sharingan. Behind Naruto, a tree sprouted and wrapped around him. Kurenai quickly appeared in the tree with the kunai getting ready to stab Naruto. However, Naruto performed the genjutsu counter using his Sharingan, and the illusion was switched, making Naruto in the tree getting ready to kill Kurenai. Kurenai saw this and bit her lip to quickly break the illusion. The illusion broke, and she ducked just in time to avoid a horizontal slash with the Thunder God sword. Naruto saw her ducking. He quickly adjusted and planted a powerful kick in her chest. She was able to block it, but the force was enough to send her tumbling through the ground. Kurenai recovered and threw a couple of shuriken towards Naruto. Naruto had his Sharingan activated and saw that a few of them had no chakra and realized it was an illusion, and quickly dispelled it. Kurenai-sensei, genjutsu is useless against me. Even the most powerful one is meaningless, Naruto said. Naruto, just because you have the Sharingan, it doesn't mean you're immune to them, Kurenai scowled. It's not because of the Sharingan, since I'm good in terms with the Kyuubi. He can disrupt my chakra from the inside, dispelling any illusion, Naruto explained, and Kurenai cursed her luck. There was no way she could win now. She would have to catch him by surprise. They both eyed each other, waiting for the other to make their first move. Neither of them wanted to make the first wrong move. Suddenly, Naruto picked a few shuriken and threw them at her, saying, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, and 5 shuriken multiplied to 100. Naruto went through more hand seals and said, Wind Style. Great breakthrough. The shuriken gained incredible speed and rushed towards Kurenai. She didn't have many options to dodge them, so she used Korimi with a nearby log. She recovered and searched her surroundings just in time to jump out of the way of a hand that sprouted out of the ground and tried to snatch her. As she jumped back, a presence appeared behind her and said, Katsu. The Naruto clone exploded and sent Kurenai crashing into a tree, leaving her drifting in and out of consciousness. Naruto appeared behind her with a kunai to her neck. Congrats, Naruto. You are more than ready for the Chunin exams, Kurenai said weakly. She was almost depleted of chakra, and her clothes were singed from the explosion. You aren't in good shape, Sensei, Naruto said and bit his thumb and slammed his hand in the ground, saying, Summoning Jutsu, and out came Kagura. Kagura, can you heal Kurenai, Sensei? I was a bit rough from the spar, Naruto said, smiling sleeplessly, rubbing the back of his head. A bit rough? You literally blew her up, Kurama said, chuckling. It was only an explosive clone, it wasn't fully charged, Naruto replied. Your luck otherwise. You might have killed her. She never stood a chance against someone like you. You had better taijutsu. Your ninjutsu is ridiculous. And genjutsu, even though you can't perform that many, you're immune to them, Kurama explained, and Naruto simply nodded. Naruto and Kurenai walked back to the middle of the training ground to see Hinata crouching on the ground, healing a passed out Shino. What happened? Kurenai said, still nursing her lips that were a bit sore. I used a water jutsu and Shino didn't have enough time to dodge and crashed into him, knocking him out cold, Hinata explained. Naruto and Kurenai's sweat dropped at the way she casually said it. Okay, you can leave. I'll take Shino home, Kurenai said, and everyone left the training grounds. Middle of Konoha. Naruto and Hinata were walking peacefully through Konoha. They noticed that the glares they received were somewhat different. The glares showed more fear than anything. Hey, Hime, is it me, or are the glares more discreet? Naruto asked. Yeah, they don't seem to openly glare at you now, they seem scared. I wonder why though, Hinata replied. Maybe it was because of my stunt during the council meeting, Naruto said, chuckling. Hinata giggled. What do you want to do? Naruto asked. I'm kind of hungry, I had 2 matches, how about we go for some cinnamon rolls, Hinata said with a watery mouth. You really have a nasty sweet tooth, Naruto said, chuckling. Let's go. They were walking peacefully until they noticed a box following them. Does he really think we don't notice him? Naruto whispered to Hinata. Apparently, she replied. You can come on out, Konohamaru, Naruto said. Suddenly the box exploded, a massive cloud of multicolored smoke. From the smoke appeared 3 kids around the age of 8. The kid in the middle was Konohamaru. He was the grandson of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage. They became rather good friends a few months ago when they met. Flashback. It was the day after the Genin graduation, and both Naruto and Hinata were standing in front of the Hokage, working on their ninja license. Naruto's photograph was rather expressive, and the Hokage wanted him to retake the photo. Suddenly, the room's door busted open. Naruto didn't even think as he channeled chakra to his sword seals and his wristband, and pulled out a few shurikens. Hey, The kid didn't even manage to say 2 words, and he was already frozen. The kid was pinned in the wall with 10 shurikens through his clothing. Naruto, what did you do? Hokage asked with his eyes widened. Naruto was really fast to react. Naruto took a moment to realize that the person who busted through the door was about 8 years old, and in his hand were wooden shurikens. What do you expect, old man? This is what happens when you surprise a shinobi, Naruto said, trying to apologize even though he didn't do anything wrong. The Hokage just shook his head at the actions of his grandson. Naruto, take him from the wall, Hokage said. Naruto went towards the kid and removed the shuriken. My bad, kid, though you shouldn't surprise a shinobi, Naruto said, and the kid continued looking at him. What's your name, boss? Can you teach me that? The kid asked. I'm Naruto, kid, but you should be starting the academy this year, so they'll teach you that there, Naruto explained. I'm not a kid. I'm Konohamaru Sarutobi, future Hokage of Konoha, the kid now identified as Konohamaru said. Naruto smirked the kid. He reminded a little of him. Suddenly, through the busted door came running a shinobi. Honorable grandson, there you are, Ebisu started until he looked at the room and noticed Naruto. Oh, it's the closet pervert. How are you doing? Naruto asked. I'm not a pervert, you brat, Ebisu said, glaring daggers at him. Whatever you say, Naruto said, and performed one of his most powerful techniques, an SSS ranked forbidden jutsu, the technique that shall not be named, the one and only sexy jutsu. In a puff of smoke appeared a beautiful blonde girl, suddenly naked except with smoke covering all the important parts. Both the Hokage and Ebisu flew into the air and crashed on the ground, passed out by blood loss. Wow, boss, teach me that jutsu. You managed to defeat the old Hokage and Ebisu-sensei at the same time, Konohamaru said. Naruto was about to reply when, Naruto, you aren't teaching him that, now are you? Hinata asked in a very sweet voice that made them both back up a few steps. Of course not, Naruto said, nervously scratching the back of his head. Come on, Hime, Konohamaru, let's leave them on the ground, Naruto said, trying to defuse the situation, and all 3 of them left the room. End of flashback. What do you want, Konohamaru? Naruto asked. Do you want to play ninja? Konohamaru asked. Suddenly the 3 of them heard laughter. They turned around to see the pink banshee Sakura. What kind of ninja plays ninja? Sakura smugly asked. It's pretty fun, actually. Besides, you get to train stealth, trap, strategy, and tracking, Hinata explained, and Sakura just got deadpanned. Go away, flat-chested, Konohamaru said, and an immense silence followed. Konohamaru, you should run now, Naruto said as he saw a murderous purple aura around Sakura that would put Orochimaru to shame. Konohamaru gulped and started running with Sakura in hot pursuit. Naruto and Hinata just laughed as they watched Sakura chase Konohamaru. Obviously, Sakura, being a fangirl, had a diet going on to keep her figure, so she barely could keep up with an 8-year-old. Konohamaru was still running. He made a sharp turn and crashed into another shinobi that was around the corner. Damn it, Brian, that hurt, the shinobi said, and picked Konohamaru up by the collar, getting ready to apply some punishment. Naruto and Hinata heard the crash and went to investigate. They arrived and saw 2 strange shinobi with sand headband. The one holding Konohamaru wore a black, baggy full bodysuit with a red and yellow circle in front. He also wore a black hood which covered his head completely, and he had cat-like ears and his forehead protector and his headband. He also had a bundle on his back with white bandages surrounding it completely. The other shinobi's outfit consisted of a single light purple-colored, off-the-shoulder garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her wrist, in addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh. She also wore a black forehead protector around her neck. Leave the kid alone, Kankuro, the Kenoshi in the back said. I've got to teach him some respect, Tamari, Kankuro replied to the female shinobi. Fine, but if you get in trouble, I'm not helping, Temari replied, and Kankuro nodded, getting ready to smash his fist into Konohamaru. Sakura just watched, scared, both of them, until Naruto and Hinata arrived at the scene. Hey clown, put Konohamaru down, Naruto said. Who are you calling clown? Kankuro asked. You're wearing a full body catsuit with makeup, Naruto replied. It's not makeup, it's paint, Kankuro said, getting pissed off. Whatever you say, just put the brat down, Naruto said, getting ready to spring into action if he needs be. I'm teaching him some manners, Konohamaru said as he made a fist and prepared to punch Konohamaru. Both Naruto and Hinata vanished in an instant. To any unrestrained eyes, they were blurs. 1 second later, Hinata had Temari with a kunai at her throat, just as Naruto had Kankuro. Naruto's kunais were now all tree-pronged with the Horizon seal, however, none of them recognized it. Now, how about you put him down gently, Naruto said in his sweetest voice, and a small blood drop fell from Kankuro's neck. Kankuro and Temari were sweating. They didn't see them move, they were just blurs. Besides, your teammate doesn't seem very happy, Naruto said, pointing towards a nearby tree. Suddenly from behind them appeared another Sand Shinobi. He was a little shorter than the average males of his age. He had fair skin and was short, spiky auburn hair, which was sometimes depicted as red. He had green eyes and no distinctive pupils or eyebrows either. He had two very noticeable traits in his appearance. Firstly, he was tanuki-like black eye rings, having them since birth. Secondly, he carved the kanji of love on the left side of his forehead. Gaara, Kankuro said in a dry voice, clearly fearing the shinobi now identified as Gaara. He made a sand shinchuin towards his team just as Naruto and Hinata retracted their kunai and regrouped with Sakura and the now released Konohamaru. They managed to get behind Temari and Kankuro. They're good, Gaara thought. Stop this, or I'll kill you, Gaara said, and Kankuro took a step back. I was just teaching them a lesson, Kankuro shakily said. Shut up. You are a disgrace to our village, Gaara said in his usual cold tone. You know, Naruto said, getting attention from the redhead. It's nice to meet you, Ichi, Naruto said, and the sand team froze. They knew very well what he meant. How do you know? Gaara asked. Naruto simply turned around to show them the kanji for 9 written on his back. The furball says that the tanuki is one crazy bastard, Naruto said. Mother says you are strong. I'll prove my existence by killing you, Gaara said, unleashing killer intent as the sand was starting to leave his ground and danced around him. Poor Sakura was on the ground, barely managing to breathe in the amount of killer intent. Naruto simply applied his own that overwhelmed Gaara's ki to the point that his team took a step back. Temari and Kankuro were just shitting their pants. Here it was, a Jinchuriki like their brother, but he had the strongest of the demons, the Kyuubi. Suddenly another team arrived where they were, but his team was from the Cloud Village, and they were being accompanied by what seemed to be their Jonin sensei. He had dark skin, a muscular build, as well as white hair and a goatee. On his right shoulder, he has a tattoo of the kanji for iron, and on his left cheek, he had a tattoo of a bull's horn. His top lip also was a slightly darker hue than his bottom one. He wore overall-shaped sunglasses and a white-colored forehead protector. He also had his village's standard one strapped over one shoulder flak jacket, and a long red rope belt tied around his waist, the standard kumo hand and shin guards, shinobi sandals, and a white scarf around his neck. He also carried 7 swords on his back. The rest of his team, they were 2 girls and a boy. One of the girls had long, straight blonde hair bound with taut bandages and dark eyes. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse with black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them. Purple fingerless gloves and a chain of white beads wound around her left hand. She also wore the standard Kumo forehead protector, sandals, and a kunai holster, which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. The other girl is a dark-skinned kunoichi with long red hair and amber eyes. She wore a long, short-sleeved dress with frilly edges complete with the kumogakure flak jacket, 2 simple yellow earrings, fishnet stockings, thigh-high boots with white soles and a forehead protector, which she wore like a bandana. She also carried a long sword on her back. The final member was male. He was a dark-skinned Kumo ninja with short spiky white hair and dark eyes, accentuated with lines curving upwards from the corners. He wore a dark outfit consisting of an overlong shirt with a hood with red bandages, handguards, kumogakure shin guards, and a black forehead protector. He also carried a long sword in his back like his other teammate. As usual, the QB instantly warned Naruto of the others. "Is this a reunion?" Naruto asked and turned to the Kumo team. "Nice to meet you, too." 8. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki," Naruto said. Sakura and Konohamaru were oblivious to what was happening, but the rest could feel the tension arise between the teams. Kumo tried to kidnap Hinata when she was 6, so both of them were a bit weary of them, and Gaara seemed that he was about to jump in and attack all of them. "Nice to meet you too, Mr. 9. I fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I'm the Jinchuriki of the Hachibichi, the mighty killer bee," B shouted, pumping his fist in the air. "Shut up, B," the blonde girl yelled and bonked him in the head. "I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! To me," she said. "Omoi," Omoi said. "Karui," Karui said. Suddenly another team joined the fray as her team sensed the tension anywhere in the village. "Do you mind if I join the party?" a girl with green hair asked. Everyone turned to see the newcomers, and both Naruto and Hinata said "Foo," surprised to see her. "I guess everyone here is going to the Chunin exams," Naruto asked, and everyone nodded. "Should be fun. It seems to be plenty of competition around," Naruto said, and a few smirked. The sand around Gaara just seemed to dance around him even more when he noticed the arrival of the Kumo team. Kankuro and Temari were sweating bullets as they noticed the smile on Gaara's face. Kakashi, Kiba, and Sasuke soon arrived when they sensed the killer intent being radiated by Gaara and Naruto when they met. "Hey, Kakashi," Naruto said. "What's going on here?" Kakashi said as he noticed what seemed to be some sort of face-off. There was a team from Kumo, Sand, and Taki. He also sensed some tension in the air between all of them. "Kakashi-sensei, you better train your team if you want them to survive. I can guarantee you right now that everyone here will reach the finals," Naruto said, and everyone smirked except Team 7 and Kakashi, who were still oblivious to what was happening. "What makes you think that?" Kakashi asked, and Naruto chuckled. "What's so funny, dope?" Sasuke asked. "Nothing," Naruto replied. "Kakashi-sensei," Naruto said, getting his attention. 1, Naruto said, pointing to Gaara. 2, Naruto said, pointing to Yugito. 7, Naruto said, pointing to Fu. 8, Naruto said, pointing to Killer B. 9, Naruto said, pointing to himself. When Naruto finished, Kakashi's eyes widened. In front of him were 5 of the 9 Jinchurikis. It was extremely rare for them to meet by chance, but it appeared that fate played a hand in this. "Don't try to look cool like Sasuke," Sakura yelled. "Shut it, Sakura. I'm allowing you to go into the Chunin exams, but if you see any of these teams, you surrender immediately. Do I make myself clear?" Kakashi asked in a serious tone, and she nodded. "Like they can win against me in Uchiha," Sasuke said with his traditional arrogant smirk. "I'll enjoy spilling your noble blood, Uchiha," Gaara said, and everyone got shivers. "The furball is right. You are a crazy tanuki," Naruto said, and Yugito, Fu, and B snickered. "It's been fun. See you at the exams," Naruto said, and left with Hinata. The rest soon dispersed and went about their business. With Team 7, I was serious when I said that. "If you run into any of those teams, you run. Do I make myself clear?" Kakashi asked, and both Kiba and Sakura quickly nodded. Was the Uchiha's response. "Let's go train. You need to be more prepared for this," Kakashi said, and dragged his team to the training grounds. Naruto and Hinata. "Who knew that there would be so many of us competing?" Naruto said. "The exams will prove to be interesting," he said. "Don't tell me you want to fight them," Hinata asked. "Of course, all the Jinchurikis tend to be strong. It's no fun fighting weak opponents," Naruto said, and Hinata just shook her head. "Let's go. I'm teaching you a few tricks against Jinchuriki, since you might need them against 3 of them," Naruto said. Sand team. "Gaara, I think we should avoid that blonde kid," Kankuro said. He was fearful from both of them. "Shut up. I'll enjoy spilling his blood as the Uchihas." "Yes, I shall prove my existence with their blood," Gaara said. Kumo team. "That blonde kid seems strong," Yugito started. "Do you think he can work with the QB?" she asked. Hachibi says the QB never gets along with the toast, but we better hope he can't. Even the Chibi can't go against him, Killer B said. "What if we end up facing them in the Chunin exams, and then he unleashes the QB leading to the destruction of the Leaf Village?" Moy said, getting a smack from Karui. "But the way he cares of all of us, he seems that he at least talks with them. Just be careful," B said for the first time without rhymes. Taki team. "How do you know that blonde kid?" one of Fu's teammates asked. "I escorted his team to our village in one mission," Fu explained. "But be careful, he faced and defeated a Konoha Noonkin named Aoi, who was a Jonin," she said, and her teammate's eyes bulged out. Did he use the Kyuubi's power? The other teammates asked. No, I didn't sense anything at all. It was all him. So let's be careful around him. Also, the girl is his girlfriend, but she also took down a Jonin. So, we must be on our toes with this team, Fu explained, and they dumbly nodded. 1 week later, Naruto and Hinata were at home getting ready for going to the academy to start their exam. Both of them had new wristbands with storage seals for shuriken, senbon, kunai, and swords. Each one also carried another scroll a bit larger with food, supplies, first aid kits, a few poisons, and general antidotes. Anything you might need, you never know what would happen or what kind of test they would face. You ready? Hinata asked. Yeah, let's go kick some ass, Naruto replied and left the house, heading towards the academy. They arrived at the academy using a Shinchuin and noticed that Shino was already there waiting for them. Sorry we were late, it took a while to gather supplies, Naruto said. Not a problem, let's go, Shino said. The three of them entered the academy. Team 8 came inside the academy to find their sensei waiting for them. Kurenai sensei, what are you doing here? Naruto asked. I'm here to say good luck. I'm glad all of you decided to participate, Kurenai asked. Thanks sensei, we're gonna go kick some ass, Naruto said, and Kurenai smiled. Team 8 continued through the academy, heading towards the designated room, which was room 1 and the 3rd floor. They arrived and noticed a small gathering of Genin teams trying to enter the exam room. Genjutsu, Hinata whispered to her team, and both nodded their heads. It's your cousin's team, they must be trying to downplay their skill, Naruto said. Just as they were about to leave to the next floor, since this room was the wrong one and was being masked by a small genjutsu, Team 7 arrived with their noses held high. Drop this genjutsu now, Sasuke commanded. That idiot, Naruto thought as Hinata and Shino thought along the same lines. My failure of a cousin, what are you doing here? Neji asked in his confident tone. Neji was Hinata's cousin, and was hailed as a Hyuga prodigy, little did he know. Neji had long, black hair that reached the middle of his back and was tied back a few inches above the end in a loose ponytail, while 2 straps attached to a smaller headband underneath his ninja forehead protector framed the sides of his face. He wore a black forehead protector that he wore snugly over his forehead. He wore a khaki shirt, under which he wore a dark blue shirt with the mesh armor underneath it, dark brown shorts, blue shinobi sandals. He also had bandages wrapped around his right arm, chest, and right leg. Participating in the Chunin exams, of course, she explained. She seems different, at least her stuttering is gone, Neji thought. It's worthless, you are fated to be a loser and a worthless Kunoichi, Negli smugly replied. I don't believe in fate, and I shall rise above it as you should. No one controls our destiny, we alone make our decisions, Hinata explained, trying to reach her knucklehead of a cousin. Not possible, you cannot change fate, and I shall prove it in these exams, and he said and walked off. Hinata just shook her head. I guess we'll have to beat him up to prove it that fate doesn't mean anything, Naruto said, and Hinata simply nodded. Neji wasn't a bad person, he was just blinded by his hate towards the main branch of the Hyuga family. Another member of Neji's team approached forward, heading towards Team 7 and Team 8. He possessed very thick eyebrows and large rounded black eyes with prominent lower eyelashes. His hair is cut in style like a bowl cut like guy, and he also began wearing the same attire consisting of a green jumpsuit, orange leg warmers, and a red forehead protector worn as a belt. Holy shit, it's a clone of Guy, Naruto all but shouted. I see you know my youthful sensei, Guy Maito. I am Rock Lee. It's a pleasure to meet such a youthful person, Lee yelled, making a few bring their hands to their ears, thinking it was a futon jutsu. Yeah, sure. Nice to meet you. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said, and extended his hand that Lee gladly took. Are you Sasuke Uchiha? Lee asked the duck-shaped haired shinobi that was standing nearby. In fact, anyone would know who he was since he had the Uchiha crest in his shirt and was the last Uchiha in Konoha. Said boy turned to face him and merely nodded. I wish to fight you, Lee said with his trademark nice guy pose. You know who I am, and yet you want to fight. You're a fool, but it might be a good warm-up, Sasuke said. Come, I want to watch this, Naruto said, and Team 7 and Team 8 left with Lee to watch the match. Dope, watch carefully, you might learn something, Sasuke smugly said to Naruto, who was standing on the balcony. I intend to, Naruto replied, chuckling, and activated his Sharingan, hiding under its usual genjutsu. Both Sasuke and Lee were facing each other, with the rest of Team 7 nearby, with Team 8. Strange, Naruto thought as he analyzed Lee with his Sharingan. Hime, can you check Lee's chakra levels? Naruto asked, and Hinata nodded. She activated her Byakugan and gasped. I think he can't use chakra, his pathways are too small. He probably can't mold chakra, Hinata explained. Lee was basically a civilian. I thought so. If he can't use genjutsu or ninjutsu, he can only resort to taijutsu, so he must be good, Naruto said as he watched the beginning of the fight. Sasuke versus Lee. Sasuke ran forward and tried to punch Lee. However, he disappeared just as Sasuke's fist was about to connect. Sasuke regained his footing just in time to see Lee in the air about to spin. Lee whirlwind, Lee said, and spin, trying to kick Sasuke. Sasuke ducked to avoid it. Lee, watching Sasuke duck, placed his hand on the ground and went for another spinning kick. Sasuke watched him and knew he wouldn't be able to dodge, but tried to block. Lee, however, was faster and his kick connected with Sasuke's face and sent him tumbling to the ground hard. A good opponent. It gives me the opportunity to try this, Sasuke said, and looked arrogantly to Lee with teammates. Oh, Sasuke managed to activate his precious Sharingan, Naruto said. Tutomo Nichai. Not bad. Lee versus Sasuke. With these eyes, I'm undefeatable, Sasuke smirked. So, that's the Sharingan, Lee said, and got ready to continue his duel. Sasuke ran forward, confident of his superiority. Lee dashed forward too, but managed to bypass his defenses. Lee stood next to Sasuke. He bent down and gave him a kick in the chin that sent him into the air and crashing into the ground again. Sasuke got up, wondering what was going on, and ran again towards Lee. They faced each other, but Lee won every single skirmish, often sending him tumbling to the ground. Sasuke's Sharingan was rendered useless. With Team 8, figures, Sasuke doesn't stand a chance, Naruto said. But shouldn't the Sharingan be able to track him? Hinata asked. The Sharingan can track Lee. However, Sasuke isn't fast enough to position himself to block the attacks. Even though Sasuke can clearly see Lee's attacks, he can't defend himself against them. There is a reason why I train my body and use gravity seals. The Sharingan alone doesn't make you all powerful, Naruto explained. So there is a weakness in those eyes, Shino stated. The weakness per se doesn't stem from the eyes, but from the fact that Sasuke's body isn't trained to handle those speeds, so he can't match them. Let's leave. This fight is over, Naruto said, and Team 8 left towards the exam room since it was about to start. Exam room. Team 8 arrived to the door. They stopped near the exam room and opened the doors. They stepped in and were immediately blasted with killer intent. However, to someone that felt the Kyuubi's killer intent, something like this didn't even bother them. Naruto entered the room and scanned it with his Sharingan hidden, taking as many faces as possible, and watching weapons and other details that he could find. He also noticed the team from Kumo, Taki, and Sand. Moments later, Team 7 also arrived with Sasuke in bad shape. He had his right cheek bruised, and neither of them knew any type of medical jutsu, so it remained there. Looks like the gang is all here, Kiba said as they entered the room and saw Team 7 and Team 10. Sasuke, do you want me to heal your face? Hinata asked. After everything she suffered, she remained a kind person. This scratch is meaningless, Sasuke said. My Sasuke is so strong, Sakura thought as she wandered in her thoughts about healing her Uchiha. Sasuke, Ino yelled as she ran and hugged the poor Uchiha from behind, much to the displeasure of Sakura. I thought you wouldn't be coming, Whiskers, a girl said. Everyone turned around and saw Yukito making her way towards Naruto with her team. Whiskers, now that's a good name, Hinata said, laughing. Don't you dare, Naruto said, pointing to her. What are you going to do? Hinata asked in a teasing voice. Naruto simply shrugged it off and walked to her and planted a full kiss on her lips, and that left her dazed. Wow, do I get one of those every time I call you Whiskers? Hinata wondered, with the finger in her chin, making her very cute. Get a room, you two, Ino said, making both of them blush. Just my luck, Yukito pouted. Keep it down, some guy said. Everyone turned to face him. He wore a pair of circular glasses. He had onyx eyes and ash-gray hair, which he kept in a ponytail that extended to his upper back, with his bangs framing either side of his forehead. He wore a dark purple shirt with a high collar, a white undershirt, dark purple fingerless gloves with armored plates on the back of the hand, a white cloth waistband worn at an angle, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. You're putting everyone on their toes. Everyone is nervous as it is, the man said as he pointed to the Amenin present in the room. Who are you? Sakura asked. I'm Kabuto Yakushi, but you are rookies, so it figures that you don't know this, Kabuto explained. Have you already tried the exam? Sakura asked. Actually, this is my 7th try, Kabuto explained sheepishly, rubbing the back of his head. Man, you must be weak, Kiba said. These exams aren't easy. Maybe I can share some information with you. Kabuto started and took a deck of cards from his pockets. These are chakra cards. They react to my chakra signature and reveal the location. As you can see, these are teams from all the countries except Iwa and Kiri. As expected, Iwa hates Konoha and Kiri is in a civil war. I can also give you some information on anyone here, Kabuto concluded, and Naruto got suspicious. How could Kabuto have information on shinobi from other villages? However, he decided to test his theories. Then, I want to know about Yugito Ni of Kumo and Gaara from Suna, asked Naruto, and Yugito crossed her arms. You could always ask, Yugito asked. Yes, but you could lie, Naruto replied, and she huffed. Let's start with Gaara, son of the Kasekage. His team is composed of his brother, Kankuro, and his sister, Tamari, and their Jonin sensei, Baki. His skills are all unknown. He completed 10 D ranks, 15 C ranks, and 1 B rank. There is a note that says he returned from all missions without a scratch. Looks like there are some strong people this year, Kabuto said, and a few shivered. Now, Yugito Ni from Kumo. She is in a team with Amoy and Karui, and their Jonin sensei is Killer B. The card shows that he had a very good taijutsu, ninjutsu, and no talent in genjutsu. She completed 10 D ranks, 5 C ranks, and 2 B ranks. What's up with these Genins and missions, Kabuto said, and Naruto chuckled. Now, I want some info about Naruto Uzumaki of Konoha, Yugito said, and Kabuto picked his card. Naruto Uzumaki of Konoha. He is on a team with Hinata Hyuga and Shino Aburame under Kurenai Yuki, Konoha's genjutsu mistress. He is the academy dead last with low taijutsu, medium ninjutsu, and no talent in genjutsu. But there is a note that says he created an S-rank Raiton Jutsu. Kabuto started and everyone's eyes widened, and Yugito narrowed his eyes at him. Now, 65 D ranks, 14 C ranks, 1 B rank, 1 A rank, and what the hell is this? 2 S rank missions? Kabuto explained, and everyone was moping the floor with their jaws. Genin with A and S rank missions are unheard of. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Kabuto. One of those S rank missions were supposed to be a secret. That kid is a mystery. Dead last and yet some high missions, Yugito thought. S ranks, how are you still alive? Kiba yelled. Keep it down. Can't tell. S rank secret punishable by death, Naruto said, and everyone just stared at him. But I can't explain the other mission if anyone wants a Kenjutsu spar, Naruto said smirkily. Did you really create an S rank Raiton Jutsu? Yugito asked. Lightning Jutsu is her village specialty, and S-rank moves are rare independents of this type. Naruto simply nodded, and everyone was having their doubts. It's true, I saw it, Kiba said, and everyone turned to him. It was awesome. He sent some white bolt to the sky, and then thunders formed. Then he somehow commanded the thunder, and he attacked the bridge and blew everything around, killing about 100 folks and destroying the bridge, Kiba explained. And everyone stared at the blonde, who was getting uncomfortable and even more suspicious at Kabuto. If he's the dead last, I don't even want to know about the Rookie of the Year. Kabuto and Sasuke smirked, getting a confidence boost. You know, Kit, he smells of snakes. Something isn't right here, Kurama said, and Naruto made a mental note to send to a spy fox later. Silence! Now sit down and let's begin the exam, Ibiki yelled, and everyone quieted down and turned to face Ibiki, who was standing in the entrance of the room with a few Chunin around. Show your ID and pick your number to be seated. Then we'll begin the written exam, Ibiki explained. Written exam? That sucks, Naruto thought. A few minutes later, everyone was seated with their test in front of them but face down. All around the classroom were Chunins with few boards. Surprisingly enough, Hinata managed to sit right next to Naruto. This test has a few rules. Number 1, each one starts with 10 points. Each wrong question deduces 1 point. Number 2, the total score is based on your whole team, Ibi explained, and a few gasped. Kiba, you better pass, otherwise I'll kill you, Sasuke thought. Poor Kiba, seeing the glares from his teammates starting to sweat. Number 3, each time you are caught cheating, you lose 2 points. Get caught 5 times and your team's automatically failed. The last question is answered last. You have 45 minutes to answer the 10 questions. Start, Ibiki said. Naruto picked up his pencil and turned his sheet only to be faced with extremely hard questions. What the hell is this? These questions aren't for Genin, Naruto thought and looked around the classroom. Everyone seemed to be lost except for a few that were writing. I know some, but I bet 90% of the people here can answer a single one. Something isn't right here, Naruto thought and began pondering what Ibiki said. Naruto knew that Ibiki was the leader of the torture and interrogation division, and he focused on mental torture. If you get caught cheating, you lose points. Now I get it. We're meant to cheat, but without getting caught. Must be some information gathering exercise, Naruto thought, and looked around the classroom. He noticed that Hinata had her Byakugan activated and was already starting to write. Shino was using his bugs to scout for anyone with answers. Kiba was using Akamaru that was on his head high enough to spot someone else's sheet. Tenten was using mirrors on the ceiling so she could see the reflection of another Genin. Sakura was writing since she was a bookworm, she could easily answer the exam. Sasuke had a Sharingan activated and was copying someone's hand movements. Naruto waited a few minutes until he spotted someone lowering their exam sheet, signaling that he was finished. They must have placed a few Chunins around to answer the exams, Naruto thought. Now, how to cheat? I don't want to copy hand movements, it's lame, I know. Naruto thought and activated his EMS and very quickly used his Kamui and sent his own sheet to his personal pocket dimension. Naruto focused on the Chunin sheet and used Kamui to swap the papers. Naruto took the sheet from his personal dimension and placed it on the table. He simply erased the Chunin's name and wrote his own. Naruto lowered his head and decided to sleep until the first part of the exam was over. Now that the week are sorted out, let's begin the last question. However, this one has its own rules. Ibiki started and everyone focused on him. Number 1, you can choose if you want or not to answer the question, Ibiki said. What happens if we choose not to answer it? Tamari asked. If you choose not to answer, you automatically fail, Ibiki explained. And of course we'll answer it, someone replied. However, if you choose to answer it and you get it wrong, you'll fail and forever be unable to retake the Chunin exams, meaning you'll be a genin for life, Ibiki explained. What? Someone yelled. You can't do that, there are people in here who are retaking the exam, Kiba said. I guess you guys have bad luck. My test, my rules. If you don't want to risk it, then give it up, Ibiki said, and everyone started pondering and a few started leaving. A few minutes later, Ibiki noticed that Naruto was almost half asleep and tossed a kunai that landed in front of him. Naruto didn't even flinch. Wake up, Naruto, Ibiki yelled. Just get it over with, Naruto started, and Ibiki raised an eyebrow. I don't give up and I never surrender, even if I stay a genin for life. Then I'll be the first genin Hokage, Naruto said, smirking. Ibiki looked around the room and noticed that the rest of the genins got somewhat inspired by his little speech. If no one wants to leave, then there's one last thing to say. You all pass, Ibiki said. What? Why? Kiba asked. You seem to have figured it out, Ibiki said, pointing at Naruto. He sighed and started. The first part of the exam was information gathering. If you recall, Ibiki said if we get caught cheating, we lose points. That could only mean that we were meant to cheat without getting caught. Information is half the battle. The last part was to know if you had the guts to beat Chunin. You can't abandon the mission just because it might be hard. A Chunin is expected to lead, and as so, he must inspire confidence and courage in his team, Naruto explained, and most of the rookies stared at him as if he grew a second head. Precisely, Ibiki said, until someone came crashing through the window. Everyone watched as someone entered flying through the windows. As it reached the middle of the classroom, it opened to show a woman. She sent 2 kunai to the ceiling to secure what appeared to be a sign. Proctor of the second round. Anko started yelling but was cut off by Naruto. Hey, Anko, Naruto said, waving his arm. Damn it, Naruto, you ruined my entrance, Anko yelled at him. Come on, don't be mad, Anko, Naruto said. I'll kill you later, brat. Now, everyone to the training ground, 44. Be there in 20 minutes, or you fail. Go, Anko said, and everyone left the room in a hurry. Naruto and Hinata just shouldn't join there.